Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2. Today we have got two big league games for you. Walsall and Crewe Alexandra await us. Since you were last here, things actually have been okay. We've only lost one league game since you were last here. So actually, on the face of things are looking kind of positive. That we've turned things around a little bit. We're starting to settle down in the division now and starting to pick up a few more points than we have been in recent weeks. And to only lost one game in between episodes, I think it's really, really good. The issue is, we're not really winning many either, as you can see from the fixture list. You were last here for the Wimbledon draw and the Coventry loss. After that, a 0-0 draw at home to MK Dons was a really positive result. I think we kept a clean sheet and picked up a point after being thrashed by Coventry the week before. So that was really pleasing, I've got to say. I was really pleased with the way we played in that game. Clean sheet was really important. What I wasn't pleased about was our FA Cup first round game against Poulton, which we drew 0-0. Now that was quite a poor game, considering that Poulton are their step 7, I believe. And we're obviously step 3. So that was a real poor performance from there. We had to do something in the replay, and of course you can see down there we already did. But moving on from that game, Checker Trade Trophy, I think we're already out of it at this point anyway. So a loss to Wigan there didn't really do much, didn't really matter anyway. Patrick Marshall got a goal, which is good for him, I've got to say. But other than that, wasn't really much of a game. Back to league action and a 1-1 draw this time with Southend. They took the lead before Mark Mason brought one back just before half-time. Barry Porter sent off, but I'm very pleased to say that we managed to keep holding on there. We didn't concede another goal and picked up another vital point there. FA Cup replay was up next. We went 3-0 up within 50 minutes, but I thought that's job done until they brought 2 back. And the final 10 minutes of the game were pretty nervy, I've got to say. But we managed to win it at least. It meant that we drew Hull in the FA Cup second round. I feel like we've played Hull an awful lot so far this season. We've played them in the league, the Checker Trade Trophy, and I was going to say Carabao Cup, but that was Wigan playing the Carabao Cup, and we also played them in the Checker Trade Trophy. So Wigan and Hull, we've played a lot this season, but we came up against them in the second round. As you can see, we lose that 2-1. Mason scores the goal there, but it's not really too much of a big deal. Would have been nice to progress against Hull, but they are a decent side who are looking like they're going to get promoted this season, so it was kind of obvious that they were going to win the game. I ddid jump ahead a little bit there, though, for the Hull game. We'll just take it back quickly. Chesterfield in the league. Finally, a win. That was the first win we've had since Middlesbrough, which was a few episodes ago now. So that was vital for us to get a win in the league. Chesterfield with the team that we beat. Sean Hawkins with the goal in the 65th minute. That was a really good performance. Really pleased with the way we played that. And again, a 1-0 win is fantastic. Mansfield, though, we couldn't quite recreate the win against Chesterfield. We lose 2-1 after Mark Mason scores a goal from a penalty. Unfortunately, they score a bit later on, so they win that. Then there's the Hull game that we already spoke about. And then last time out was really, really pleasing. Mark Mason with a brace to make sure we beat Fleetwood Town 2-0 to pick up another 3 points, this time at home. That was a game that I was really happy with the team with. And I think that 4-3-3 that we've been trying to use recently is starting to work its magic now, I think, and hopefully we'll see some positive results in the next few fixtures or so. Despite only one loss, 2 wins and a couple of draws in there, we do stay bottom of the League One table as things stand right now, which is a little bit annoying, I've got to say, but we are so close from getting out of it. We're on 20 points when the table wants to load. We're only 3 points away from relegation. If we win both our games today, potentially we could go up to 16th in the table. So it's really not doom and gloom yet. We're approaching that halfway mark of the season now, but I really think we've got enough about us to avoid relegation in the second half of the season. I think we're starting to come into a little bit of form now. This table's really taken a long time to load. Clicked on that a while ago. I don't think this laptop's really going to last much longer, unfortunately. May have to do something about that pretty soon. But as you can see right down here, 24th in the table. Whilst we've had a bit of good form, as you can see, Sale, Exeter and Rochdale and Wimbledon recently as well. They've all won 2 games or so, as well as us. So hopefully they'll drop out of form a little bit. We'll keep going with our form and we'll overtake a few of these teams and eventually make our way out of the relegation zone. Walsall and Crewe, the teams that are playing today, are 4th and 10th, by the way. So that's going to be quite a tough challenge. Hopefully, though, we have enough about us. I think, the good form we've had going for us recently, combined with this 4-3-3 where the players are really starting to gel with each other a little bit more, I think we could have a decent result today in at least one of these fixtures. So sticking with the 4-3-3, Andrew still in goal with backline of McGinley, Porter, Dan Happy and Atkinson. Muggeridge, Nankwo and Hawkins in the middle of the park with Monk, Marshall and Mason as our 3 strikers today. I reckon we've got a good chance. I think we could be decent here. Just a transfer update for you as well before we get into today's game. Kenise Carroll is going to Shamrock Rovers. We saw some bids come in for him at the end of last episode. And he's gone to Shamrock Rovers in the end. He agreed to deal with them, so he'll be going to them in January, so he won't be at the club much longer. Thank you, Kenise Carroll. You probably won't see him again after this episode, actually, so thank you very much, Kenise Carroll, for your time at the club. But with his contract ending at the end of the season, chance to try and get a bit of money for him is actually really good, and we can't turn that down. So he's gone for, what is it, £8,500 or so in the end, which I think is pretty decent money. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today. We're at home. Hopefully Walsall bring a big crowd with them so we can get some decent gate receipts. Walsall, by the way, sitting fourth. Last time we played a team in fourth on episode, it was Middlesbrough. They were fourth at the time, and we beat them 1-0. So hopefully we do the same thing again, as Monk has put forward pretty early on in today's game. His shot deflected though, unfortunately. But hopefully the highlight continues for us as Dan Happy plays it in towards Atkinson. Back to Dan Happy, who puts a great ball forward towards Monk. Gets back to Muggeridge in the end, and Nankwo now on the ball, who are finally sort of settled on a name for him. Nankwo is, I think, the best way to say it. As Mason puts it into Marshall. Marshall back to Mason. Mason to Marshall, just over the crossbar, but that was a nice little move to start the game off. Let's scroll this down then to the depths of the bottom of League One. Hopefully we'll see some movement, and hopefully we'll start to move up the table a little bit today. That'd be very nice indeed. As you can see, it is really, really close down there, so hopefully we will capitalise on that, as Walsall are coming forward now, trying to look dangerous. Haven't had a shot on target yet, or haven't had a shot at all. That was their first shot, so we have been the slightly better side in the opening 10 minutes in terms of match stats. Hopefully that'll continue. Considering how good Walsall are, to be fair, they're in the playoffs looking for promotion this season, I would happily take a draw with them, to be fair. And, you know, a loss wouldn't be too bad. If it was 1-0 loss, really, it's not. We're expected to lose every single game this season, really. So a 1-0 loss, I would say, isn't too bad. But a draw, I'd be really, really happy with. We need to try and reach that 50-point mark. As things stand, we aren't on target for it yet, as we have played 23 games, which is half the amount of games that we played this season. Only on 21 points as things stand. So we've got to get 30 points at least in the second half of the season to have a chance of survival, which is a very big ask, but that's only 10 wins out of 23. It's going to be a massive ask, really, actually, thinking about it. When you put it like that, 10 wins, that's a lot of wins to get. Half time, and it is 0-0, but still, we are dominant in this game. 8 shots to 1 shot, 76% possession to 24%. That is really, really top stuff, considering that Walsall are such a good side and should be challenging for promotion. So if we can carry on in the second half like this, I'll be over the moon with the players. Going back to the table, though, the saving grace is that a lot of teams are on very low points around us. There's at least, well, if you looked at 18th, look to 16th, really. Any team from 16th down is looking like they might go down this season. The issue is, I think we're in such a good position to win this game today. It's just, I don't know if the strikers like the 4-3-3. I don't think they really do, which is the issue, really, I've got to say, when you look at it. Mason's played well today, but Marshall and Monk haven't, when you put it like that. The thing is, I'm reluctant to change things because we are playing really well at the moment, to be fair, and I don't really want to change formation because that might ruin things for us. And the 4-3-3 has worked quite well, and like I said, a draw against Walsall would be a fantastic result. We're going to bring Reese Hilton on, though, for Dylan Monk on the left-hand side of the attack. I think as well, maybe it's time to give Turiak a go at left-back. He's been very good recently. He's not playing today because he's a bit tired from recent fixtures, but he has been very good recently. And I think he could maybe turn things around the final 15 minutes or so. But as Walsall come forward, I just feel that they're going to score a goal. I just think they've got that quality that we don't have. And although we've been all over them all game, our lack of being able to put our chances away is probably going to be our downfall, as here they come. Walsall ever closer. Cole on the ball on the edge of the area, out to Woods. Back to Facey, their right back, who's looking to come forward and maybe put a crossing. But Nankwo gets a decent tackle in there. Gets the ball away. Hilton now on the ball out towards Mark Mason, who's got players to beat. Mason puts it in the area to Marshall, who hits the post. Oh, and that's just been our luck this season, really, I've got to say. That has been our luck. Let's go attacking for the final 10 minutes. Push forward out there. I believe we can do something as Turiak puts his corner in. Cleared, but only as far as Mason, into Hawkins, who puts it in the back of the net for his third goal of the season, assisted by that man, Mark Mason. And it's been coming all game, I think. We have been the better side. We'll go down to balanced. Let's not stay on attacking at all. As things stand, that moves us up to 21st as well. Marshall gets the second. Is that not offside? It's not offside. Nankwo's free kick comes in. Marshall gets the goal. And right at the end of the game, we have prevailed, scoring 2. And we are getting some good form. behind us now. This is really good to see. That's 3 wins in recent times now, and in the past few games or so. As I mentioned previously, moves us up the 23rd or 21st in the table on 23 points, which puts us closer to these teams. I mean, there's so many teams on 26 points at the moment. If we win next game as well, we could be right up there with them and moving ourselves away from that relegation zone, which would be great to see. Is a highlight coming though, and is it going to be a consolation goal? It's not. It is a consolation goal. Let's make sure this doesn't turn into a draw, lads. Okay, let's calm down. We've got 2 minutes to hold on. Keep yourselves calm. Keep things steady. Andrew puts the ball up towards Hilton, and Muggeridge collects the loose ball. Can we just put it into touch or something like that, please? Let's just get rid of this ball. Don't play it back to Andrew. That's it. We have won it 2-1 against Walsall. Slight scare at the end as they scored one. But a fantastic win against a team chasing promotion. That is really a solid result. It also means that we need only about 9 more wins, I've got to say, to stay up this season. It's usually 50 points. We're on 23 right now. Another 27 needed. That's 9 wins. I reckon 50 points will have us safe. Oh, I'll tell you what. West Ham offering me a job interview. Where are West Ham in the football pyramid? They must be Premier League, surely. Can't be doing very good in the Premier League to have sacked their manager and offer me the job. 16th in the Premier League. You know, and they've got Areola in goal, Reece Oxford, Nathaniel Chalobah, Declan Rice still. They've got some very, very good players. But it's not the West Ham Loco, it's the Lincoln Loco. Decline the interview. All right, what's going on today? Huddersfield Town after me as well. They're 15th in the Premier League. They've got Butland, Decore. I mean, they've got Hakim Ziyech. To be fair, he's a decent player. I don't know why he's not in their starting squad. He's a very, very good player. You know what? Again, it's not the Huddersfield Town Loco, it's the Lincoln Loco. Decline it. So this game against Crewe then, it's another home game, but really, we played very well, and I'm not really fussed about changing the lineup too much. I think we'll bring Turiak back on for McGinley. Other than that, though, I think that's probably the best team to go for. I mean, Hilton came on and played quite well instead of Monk, but Monk is a very good player anyway, so I think we'll go for that. Turiak's the only change that we'll make. Crewe, you're at our mercy. Right then, kickoff is upon us today. A win today could take us out of the relegation zone and take us towards safety this season, which would be really, really good. It would also be the first time this season that we will have won back-to-back games, which is a very big moment. If we play like we did against Walsall, I have no qualms about us getting a result today. But of course, Crewe, a different side, they'll set up differently, and I'm sure they'll come here thinking, you know, they can really win this game. This first half, though, has been pretty poor, I've got to say. No highlights whatsoever, but again, Crewe, a decent side. If it means picking up points, I'll take a draw today. We have, though, briefly just dropped down to 22nd. Obviously, Exeter winning their game. They've got better goal difference than us. A lot of these teams do have, in fact, everyone around us has got better goal difference than us. So we need to pick up some wins somewhere and some big wins. That would be very handy. As we approach the second half, though, again, a 0-0 draw is something I would take wholeheartedly. I'd love that. You know, a 0-0 draw today would be really, really good. Dylan Monk has picked up a knock very early on in this second half, and he's not played particularly well either. So maybe actually this is another chance for Reece Hilton to get himself on the pitch and see what he can do out there. Does look like, though, Crewe are the better side in today's game in terms of stats and shots and things like that. We've actually had more possession than them, but possession doesn't really account for much, I don't think, in some of these games, especially when they've had a lot more shots than us. But our defence, as you can see, playing very well on 7.2, 7.4s. Obviously, we're doing something good in the right way to affect the scoreline. Obviously, they've had to defend pretty well to keep the scores level as it is right now. We've got 10 minutes or so to go. This whole game's gone so quickly. No highlights at all in this game. I think maybe what we do is maybe we bring Tony Russell on the wing, maybe, and maybe we try and do something like that. Saying that, I'm not convinced. And again, in the same sort of position as last game, I don't really want to change formation because we have played really well. Muggeridge, though, is tired out there. So I think what we do is we bring Samut on for him. He's not really much of a playmaker, but he's probably the best midfielder we've got on the bench that can come on to try and change this game. So we'll do that for the final 10 minutes or so. Again, I am reluctant to change things, but when we are drawing and we need to pick up points in every single game, whether that be a draw or a win sort of thing, points mean prizes at the end of the day, and the prize at the moment is safety. And right now, we're doing a very good job as we move towards it. Another point picked up here today This could actually be the first game we've seen with no highlight at all, apart from like the closing highlight of the game, which was then 0-0. I'll take that draw completely, but I do think the thing is with the 3 strikers, surely having 3 strikers, we should have more of a threat and have more highlights. The strikers don't seem to like it, but I've got to say our defence seems to love it, because in recent games, we've not conceded many goals at all, which, why change it if we're not conceding many goals at all? So, at the end of this episode, we've picked up 4 points, which is really promising. Only 26 or so needed, I think, for safety. Let's just double check this. So, last season, you needed 50 points for safety. Yeah, that's pretty decent. The season before that, 49 points. 47 the season before that. You only need 45 the season before that as well. So, 50 points, 46 the season, 45 actually even the season before that. So, yeah, I've got to say that 50-point mark, apart from this one season where you needed 52 points with good goal difference, 53 to be really safe that season, 50 points really is the target to get if we want to survive this season. And I think we can do that. 26 more points from 22 more games. I think that's doable. I really think that is doable. Let's go and do it. We could see the departure of Mick Atkinson soon, though. He's been scouted again, this time by Charlton. And if we click on him, 19 clubs are interested in him, ranging from Cardiff to Chesterfield to Swansea. A lot of clubs interested in him. His minimum fee release clause is £190,000, so we won't let him go for anything less than that. But if someone offers £190,000, even if it wasn't his minimum fee release clause, I wouldn't be saying no to that. So there we go. What it does mean is, if he leaves in the transfer window, as is Kenneth Carroll, we will need to buy a new right back at some point. In fact, actually, we've got one on loan somewhere. We'll have to recall him, but he's not really first choice material yet, so we'll have to see how things go. The reason I'm telling you this now is because I don't think we're going to have an episode in January. Next episode, I think we're going to go all the way through to Middlesbrough and Shrewsbury, but did we do them earlier on in the season? We might have done. In fact, we did do Middlesbrough and Shrewsbury last time out, and I feel like doing them again might be a little bit silly. So actually, to be fair, 9 games seems like quite a lot, doesn't it, in between episodes? But considering that this season's we're only playing for safety this season, and there's still after that a long way to go, we can get a few episodes out there. I reckon actually we go all the way through to Bolton and Peterborough maybe. So I'll play all of these games in between episodes, which is a lot of games I've got to say, but I've got a Wednesday to do it. I think it'll be okay, and hopefully we'll have a big update for you next time round and things like that. I think that'll be okay. I think we'll do that. Bolton and Peterborough is next episode. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.